Hey there, movie besties. Welcome to this week's episode of So That's What Happens.
A podcast where we unpack the plot, the twist, and meaning of great movies while sharing our perspective and having a little fun in the process.
We're your hosts,
Tanisha
and Bridget.
And on today's episode, we will be discussing the movie
The Killing of a Sacred Deer. This damn movie. Two friendly reminders before we get this started.
Everyone has a different perspective, even you. So we're going to share our perspective with y'all. We're going to engage, and y'all going to let us know.
And don't just take our words for it. There's no substitute for seeing the movie yourself.
Right.
That's how you create your own perspective.
Yeah.
And with that being said, let's unpack this. The title of the movie, again, is The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Yep.
It came out in 2017, and it is streaming now on Showtime.
Okay.
For those of you who want to see it. I know.
Showtime just seems so... Okay, anyway. The genre is drama, horror, mystery, and I would say, too, even a little slow burn, like you said earlier.
Yeah, it is a slow burn.
Yeah. The writer and director is Yorgos Lanthimos and Efthimis Philippou.
It stars Colin Farrell, who plays Stephen Murphy, a functioning alcoholic doctor and a distressed dad. And you might know him from The Lobster, Phone Booth, Fright Night, True Detective, an extensive resume.
Yep. And he's also an husband in this movie. Okay, that's his character too, because alongside him plays Nicole Kidman as his wife. She's like distressed, she's the submissive,
Her name is Anna Murphy.
Yeah, Anna Murphy. Yep, that's her name. You've seen her in Moulin Rouge, Big Little Lies, and Eyes Wide Shut. Bewitched.
She's Nicole Kidman. Y'all know her from stuff.
All right.
Then we have Barry Keoghan, who plays Martin, who's just a frustrating, manipulative, just little teenage weirdo.
You always be getting all out for these kids. You're like, F them kids.
He's not a kid. Well, he is a kid, but
I got you.
And you might know him, interesting story, but he's from Dunkirk, The Batman, The Eternals. I said his story is interesting because he just recently got in the game and he already has these really big films and has already been nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in foster care system for 7 years of his life in 13 different homes.
Wow, yeah.
So he's...
it makes sense why he played it so well because it was really part of his story. So it's like acting, but like not really acting. But he acting, but not really. And he just keeps going. That's not funny. I'm not trying to laugh at his life.
Go to Raffi.
And then we got Raffi Cassidy, who plays Kim Murphy. She's the misguided teenage daughter.
She's very misguided.
Yeah. You've seen her in Tomorrowland, Mr. Selfridge, and Box Lux.
And then there's Sonny Soljic, who plays Bob Murphy.
All right now.
Which he's just kind of a typical young kid living his life. But his name is Bob. So
yeah, it's not really much to him. I think the daughter, she plays the piano or she going to singing lessons.
And the son has longer hair.
Yeah, and he be doing what? What's his thing? I forgot.
Nothing.
Oh,
he really doesn't have that much character development.
Yeah, the mom
because his dad keeps getting on him about cutting his hair. That's why.
Oh, yep. Yeah,
and you might know him, Sonny, from The Christmas Chronicles, mid-90s, and The House with a Clock in Its Walls.
Titles like that are weird.
They definitely are.
What do you mean the clock in? Why are the clocks
Why are they inside?
So creepy. Just like, what is this? Anyway, all right. What's our rating system?
Overall ratings. I'm going to give this movie a 6.75 out of 10.
I see it.
This movie had a very unique plot.
Right.
A ticking time bomb, if you will, where a decision needed to be made. And you just want to stick around to see how it turns out, but it's not one that you want to ever watch again. Because for me, it made me feel more frustration than it did deep thought or admiration. The feeling after you see it is just kind of like, well, that happened.
Right.
I watched it. It was entertaining. Like, it's not like I was bored. It was just like, these are dumb decisions.
Yeah, just y'all just look dumb.
His execution, I think, could have been done differently to make me liked it more. But you think they did this for a reason.
Yeah, I think, and that's why I give it the same rating as 6.5 because it's like the execution, it did what it was supposed to do. Frustrate you and be like, really, y'all? Like, it made you really, like, just question the mental stability of this family. Like, but yeah, just kind of, just makes you kind of question, like, their decisions and stuff. Like, what are y'all, Like, so it definitely did what it was supposed to do. Frustrate you. You kind of like I said, you question them. Then you also wonder, like, what is happening? And, you know, so.
And it frustrates you more because you should be emotional about this.
Right. You don't feel
but you don't feel nothing.
Yeah.
It's like.
That's the vibe of the movie. It's very monotone. There's no life. Like, you see people living, but there's really no life in their life. Like, yeah. It's like nobody's really, there's no personality to nobody. Everybody's just so monotone. And they speak so formally. It's not like how, you know, you think of family will, like, oh, what's up, boy? You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of like talk with your family.
It's more like, hi, son. Yeah. How are you doing today?
Yeah. Like, that's exactly what it sounds. Yeah. But yeah, it's very monotone. Everybody, the wife, the two kids, the dad, everybody just kind of, and they interact with each other, but it's very just lifeless. There's no like adventure and, you know, what are y'all doing? Yeah, and but then it's not like they're sad either. It's very weird. It's not like they're sad either. So it's like, this is just y'all so bland. Like, I need some salt.
Okay.
Like, give me some salt. All right.
It starts off with a close-up of a beating heart, like an actual heart during an open heart surgery. So we see the surgeon, Stephen Murphy. Yeah. He's removing his bloody gloves and throwing them in the trash. After performing the surgery, Stephen Murphy, he's a...
Cardiothoracic? Cardiothoracic? I think.
Yeah.
Surgeon, yeah.
He's a cardiothoracic surgeon in Cincinnati. And he meets a teenager who's around 16 years old named Martin Lang at a diner. Yeah. And it just feels a little off.
Yeah, because what is this about? What you mean about?
Like, what? You just got done with surgery. Why are you... What?
And he's a teenager. What's going on?
And they have small talk that is so numbing.
Yeah.
It's just like... Ugh. And they post up in this scenic area, and they're talking almost about nothing. Like, nothing that they say has anything to do with the movie. Or it's just... And then Stephen gives Martin this gift. It's an expensive watch. And Martin is just, you know, awkwardly excited about it. And he gives him this strange little hug.
Yeah. But the excitedness wasn't like, wow, thank you. It was so like...
It was just like, oh, that's a nice watch. You know, and he hugs him like all... You know when people don't get the rhythm right of a hug? It's just like...
It was so aggressive kind of like, dang, okay.
This is not match energies.
But that in itself is just weird. Like, what is going on? So then that's kind of like when you start to question, like, okay, what's going on in this movie?
Yeah.
Where are we going with it? So anyway, we cut to a scene where we're introduced to his wife, Anna, and their children, Kim, who is 14, and Bob, who is younger. He's like around 9 or 10. And they discuss a party the kids are going to. And then Stephen encourages his son to cut his hair. And Bob says he will after the party. And it's just like a normal small talk type of dinner with the family. Again, mundane, just
normal. We'll put in quotations here because
that,
it's small talk. It's not like really deep,
right?
But it's still strange because it's so monotone.
Yes, again, lifeless. Dang, where the laughs at? Like I ain't seen nobody slap a knee. Like y'all ain't doing nothing.
I want to have dinner with your family all the time. Y'all just be knee slapping.
Yeah, hell no, we don't. I'm just trying to paint a picture of some life. I don't know, like laughing, you know. No, it's fun with my family. But
it is. I already know.
So later that night in the bedroom, Anna and the wife and Stephen, they discuss what they're going to wear to an event, you know. And this is very basic, dry, surface level conversation. And then Anna, she takes off her robe, and it's like underwear. They kind of start this weird ritual where she's like, she lays in the bed, and Stephen, I think he was reading a book or something. I don't know, but she lays in that same. Okay, yeah, she lays in that bed, and then she just like she's naked.
No,
or she has her panties on still.
So she has on her underwear. She lays flat on her back with her head like kind of overextended.
Yeah, over the bed, like hanging off.
And when I say she lays there, it's not like posed sexually. Yeah, it's literally like lifeless and limp.
Oh my gosh, which is another representation. But I was saying the life. It's like literally like they even showed a lifeless, in a sense, type of sex between this couple. That's crazy because she literally was just laying there and like he liked that. Like
he starts to kind of touch himself, but he goes over to her and then starts to kiss her body, but he moves her closer, like further onto the bed, and she still stays lifeless.
Oh my god!
And it's strange.
I mean, you know, to each his own. However, I don't get it, but you know, hey, whatever.
I think the thing that I find strange about it is that he's a surgeon. So it's like, ew, how do you feel about the lifeless people?
Because they laying they laying on your table, and you know there was a lady. It's real life.
Yeah,
she
that's
recorded
happening.
she recorded her surgery, and they was in there cutting up. One person was on a phone, another person was talking crazy about the chick they was doing surgery on. Like,
there's been quite a few of those.
Oh my god,
I was nervous about that.
Yeah, girl, that's why you gotta pray. Like, Lord, like, lead me to the right people. Shoot. Anyway. So the next day, Martin meets Stephen at the hospital. Again, here we go. They meeting. But Stephen doesn't seem thrilled to see him. And he explains to him that he has to work. And, you know, it's not good for Martin to stop by unannounced. Like, you keep showing
heart surgeon.
Right. You keep showing up at my daggone place of business and place of work. You're a young teenager. Like, yes. I'm going to need you to make it all math out, because it ain't mathing.
Even if you're not a heart surgeon.
Right.
Why are you showing up to the fire station, bruh? Exactly. Go to school.
Yeah, that's so true. So then when one of Stephen's colleagues, they come up to them in the midst of the conversation. And Stephen lies and tells the doctor that Martin is interested in becoming a doctor. And, like, he's trying to, like, you know, intern or, you know, just kind of shadow him to kind of see how it all works or whatever. But when you look at Martin, it's like, this boy ain't trying to be no damn surgeon.
Oh, definitely not.
Oh, man.
So at home, Kim, the daughter, she shows her father some of the notes that she's practiced for singing. Okay. And it's kind of funny. Now that word lifeless is going to keep popping into my head. Because, like, even the way she was singing was life. It was, Tanisha, can you do this? Do this.
Okay.
She was like,
doing... Like, yeah, it was so under the note. The note is like, ah. She was going, ah.
Yeah.
Ah. She was under the note the whole time. And it's so, like, it's kind of a little bit like, nails on the scratch on the chalkboard a little bit. Like, girl, like, oh, get it together, reach it now.
No, just a little bit higher.
And I'm not saying I'm no expert, but I'm just saying, you know, I can carry it too. I know some pictures.
I'm gonna need a parent to tell me about your kid singing and you're proud of it, because as a viewer, I was like, how does he tell her?
Exactly.
She's not that
Me
good.
And Dion literally had that same conversation. Like, what we tell our kids when they bad when they bad at something, and I'm like, hey, bro, I think so. I think we're gonna be real about it.
Tell us,
because I feel like they come up with this whole delusion of, like, that's where you get
someone should have told you.
Yeah, that's where you get the Michael Scotts, and where you get, like, you know, like, that's what
way too much confidence.
Those type of people are created when, you know, you tell them everything's an A+. Like, that's not real life. That's
not Michael Scott.
That's what I said. Michael Scott's the perfect freaking example of that.
Again, Stephen, the dad, he chastises Bob for not completing his chores. He's done that before. Like, apparently he's supposed to water the flowers.
Okay.
Pretty simple chores.
Yeah.
All right, there, Bob, get on it. So the parents leave for the event that they discussed earlier. Yeah. And Stephen, he speaks at the event to a room full of other wealthy doctors, right? And what he says is absolutely irrelevant to anything in the movie. Just some dry humor jokes and stuff, and they have their little dry laughter. The next day, Stephen and Martin again are together. They're taking a walk outside, and Martin admits to Stephen that he doesn't have a lot of friends. He doesn't think it's as important as having good friends. Which, you know, Martin, a broken clock is right twice a day. And that is true. Right. I like the fact that I'd have a lot of good friends.
Yeah, me too.
Martin discusses how he's become close to his mom ever since his father died. Not only is he close to his mom, because it feels like you won't leave Stephen alone, so you're trying to have another father figure or something here, sir.
That's what, that's exactly.
Stephen invites Martin to his house to meet his wife and kids. So he wants him to meet Anna, Kim, and Bob.
Yeah. And this is the point when I start to question, like, on his end, the dad's end, the surgeon's end, like, why do you feel obligated to invite this boy over your house? So what's going on? And I was like, okay, Martin must have something on the dad, in a sense. Like, he's like, why would he be doing this if it wasn't because so clearly this boy won't go away?
Exactly.
You know?
Because I feel like the moment an adult would say anything to me about me spending too much time to them at his age, I would have never spoken to that adult again. I would have been so embarrassed. Like, oh my God, look at me. I am stalking them.
Exactly.
So the fact that Martin is back in his face.
Yeah.
Is like,
and then he going to sit up here and invite him. Steven invites him to your house. Why?
Yeah. But Martin, he comes.
Yeah.
He brings flowers and he gets along well with the family. He's even brought small gifts for Kim and for Bob. He gave Kim this little keychain with a music note on it. Lord, I couldn't think of the word. And something even less important for Bob. I almost forgot.
Yeah, it was some. Oh yeah, you're right. What was the one that he got the son though?
I don't know. So I was trying to move on, girl.
Yeah, I forgot what he said. Look, it was forgettable.
It was.
So Anna takes Martin to where the kids are, Kim and Bob, and he just has small talk with them and whatnot. And so Bob asks if because they was upstairs in their room.
They go up to the room.
Yeah, they were in the room together. And Bob asks Martin if he has hair under his underarms, and Martin says he does. And then Kim, she tells him she just got her period. Ugh. And he asks if he can, light up a cigarette inside the room. And the son was like, no, you can't light up over here,
Yeah, but Kim
she was like, yeah, and
she's trying to be cool.
She is.
Because, of course, that's why she told him, oh, I just got my period.
Right. Like,
she's had her blood.
Ugh. Right. That's the talk that goes on. Ugh. I remember being a teenager. Ugh. But still, it's like, girl.
She says it to impress him.
She does. And it's so funny the things that we think are impressive.
I never would have.
Yeah, I don't get. I mean, but I get it because I guess in a sense, getting your period is you becoming a woman.
I think that's her way of also saying she's old enough for him. Because look at me, they're both teenagers, but he's older teenager than she is.
Right.
She's more like the 14.
Yeah.
Whereas he's like
16,
18.
17.
Yeah.
18 possibly. So then he's like, he asks Kim, sing, I heard you sing, like, can you sing for me? And, she refuses. She's like, no, bro, I ain't singing.
I can't sing right now. That's definitely not how Kim speaks.
Y'all, right. And look, y'all already know I'm going, right. It's going to come out how I'll say it. You know what I'm saying? So
okay, tell them about the movie.
So I'm paraphrasing. I know. I guess I can't just say the movie, but I don't know. I can't help it.
No, it's the best. It's the best.
All right. So then Bob urges Martin. He's like, show me your armpit or whatever.
Hair.
Yeah, he wanted to see the hair. Like, ugh. Just like, but that's, young kids, grown up, puberty, whatever. And so then Kim and Martin, they decide to go on a walk together. And that's where, they end up like stopping at this big tree and they were standing. And I like the cinematic view of it. The range was very wide because the tree was very big. So you had to, but they were still close up. I love ranges like that. Ugh. I got to find out what millimeter that is. Anyway, and she was singing to him outside under the tree.
How did that singing sound, Tanisha? Tell us.
Again, under the note. Under the note, okay? And she did the whole song. What song was it? Remind me of the song. Dang it. She did, that was, oh my God.
Yeah, I know you were about to say Bulletproof, weren't you? I know. It was something like Bulletproof, but it wasn't Bulletproof.
Like that, yeah.
Dang it.
But it was
That's
one of
why
pop
I said,
songs.
nope, don't ask me.
It was one of the pop songs.
She sang it so bad that it's like, it wouldn't even matter.
It was under the note. And she sung the whole, and they did literally the whole view was just her singing that whole song. Like, she went through the beginning, the chorus, the bridge,
it's
the
like,
hook.
Can we move on from this? This is
3
not
verses.
star quality.
I just named all the parts. Anyway, it don't beat all that in there. Bridge and chorus is kind of the same thing. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Well, no, they not. Whatever. Shut up, Tanisha.
I love you, Tanisha. You're not spiraling. You're the best. Back at the house, Martin raves about Anna's lemonade, talking about how good it is. And when I say raves, not really. He's just, this is really good lemonade that you made, Mrs. Martin. And it's just like, who breathes like that? But he might have something going on.
Oh, right. Let me eat them up.
But
sorry, people who breathe heavy.
We can't apologize for everything now. Dang. Because I straight up do too. Listen,
exactly.
I've been trying to get out the mic because I know I could be.
Yeah, that's true. Because your butt do. I have edited a few parts. Your butt breathing all hard to take it out, but it's all right. We love y'all heavy breathers.
But Anna says that, oh, your mom should come over sometime. Because Martin says, actually, his mom's lemonade is his favorite because we needed to know that. Who cares?
What are we trying to compare?
But she says that the mom should come over and, you know, Stephen just kind of invites him to stay the night if he wants to. Because it's getting later in the evening, but not really. But Martin doesn't like to leave his mom alone, is what he says. Two weird things here. First of all, you don't like to leave your mom alone.
That's weird. That's
I need to know,
sus.
like that. If someone said that to me, I would wonder, like, why? Is that really how you feel? Is that how she feels? Like, what's the dynamic here?
It's all sus. We don't understand what's going on. I ain't about to be placed in the situation here. And then,
and then also Stephen inviting him to stay the night in the first place.
Right. Why are you wanting to spend the night? Like, in the bed, you got to put on your pajamas, brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's so personal. You don't even know me like that.
Exactly, because there are people where you could do that. Like, it's late, just stay over. It doesn't feel like that type of relationship here. I'll be going home.
Right, thank you.
But not because I don't like to leave my mom alone.
Right.
Boy. So anyways, later that night, Anna and Stephen are talking, and she asks him how does he know Martin? And Stephen says that Martin's father was killed in a car accident and was killed instantly, smashing into a pole. So, you know, poor Martin. But it starts to feel kind of eerie.
Yeah.
How fake their involvement with this kid is.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, like why is that? And two, I think you start to see kind of like a disconnect. Like you start to learn, oh, you know, it's not nothing crazy going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by crazy.
Yep.
But okay, it's like, okay, now we get to see now something isn't right between them, and it's weird. Between just the family, like it's just a disconnect, you know.
So, pause for a moment. Thinking about the acting in this movie and how they're purposely like being lifeless in a way, or just
kind of mundane.
off.
Yeah.
Directing wise, do you think he just told them, do your worst acting and it will be your best acting, because we're all doing our worst acting? Like, don't show emotion when you say this.
Yes.
Don't, like.
Yes. And I think the example given was feel nothing, but act like you're feeling something.
Ooh, that's probably.
Yeah.
All right, Yorgos. Let us know how that went. Like, I know you're listening for sure.
You're right.
So tell us your thought process on this.
Yeah. Because by you not truly feeling it makes it not genuine. So putting those two together, it made it, that's where you kind of find yourself in that eerie, like, ugh, y'all just fake it. It just feels weird. What is it? I don't get the vibe, because you can't get a vibe because they're literally lifeless.
They're not letting you.
Yeah. And I like quiet people, but sometimes quiet people kind of like, I'll be watching you, like, I don't know, like, that's just me, because I can't tell who you are, because I'm a person that needs to have that connection. Like, I need to talk to you, you know, and just kind of feel you out. And so when people aren't letting you in, that's it, even a little bit, like, oh, I ain't saying you got to tell me your whole life story.
Oh yeah,
but just like it just weirds me out. I'm not saying that, you know, they up to something. I'm just saying it's just that those are the ones I'm always kind of looking at.
And the funny thing is, like, sometimes you could be quiet.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
true
gotta think about how you might come
true.
Off when you are.
That's so true. That is so true.
Yeah, that's one. I mean, I know I used to be really quiet.
Yeah.
And I can still be quiet depending on like who I'm around.
Yeah.
But
that's true. Me too.
But I always did that depending on who I was around.
Right.
I knew where it was like, I probably should talk more.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because I wouldn't be comfortable being quiet with, you know what I mean? Like, or I want them to really be comfortable. So let me not.
Right. So that night, Martin calls and he invites Stephen over for dinner. And he was talking about how his mom would be happy to see him. And it's been 2 years, you know, like since, you know, she last saw him. Because last time she saw him, he was operating on
his dad.
Yep, his dad. And so, you know, Stephen rejects it. And then Martin kind of just forces him to come that next day, which is kind of like, strange. Wow, this young boy has, see, what has he got on you that a young boy, teenager, sitting over here telling you what to do, you literally going, like, you're, what?
After rejecting it.
Exactly.
Like, you rejected this first, and Steven's like, you know, Martin's like, yeah, I think you need to come. You're gonna come and have dinner with us tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think that's probably that probably adds to why Stephen would be so kind of like doing it too, because he's kind of scared, because it's weird that this young boy would have this much like there's like a passive aggressive assertiveness and like aggression and like confidence. Like, no, you're gonna do what I say to do. Like, that is crazy.
Passive aggressive assertiveness was a beautiful way to explain it. Because it is so passive aggressive. And it's assertive, but it also just throwing a mixture of awkward. Because the power balance doesn't seem right. He's too, like,
he got too much power over
he's
this
not even
grown
one
adult.
of those like Hollywood teenagers that are like chiseled.
This
looks like a boy that I could take.
Every day.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Try me. Like,
every day. Exactly. So what? So we know it's not a physical thing. Like, so what is keeping you here, bro? So he ended up going to the dinner at Martin's house with the mom, with Martin's mom. And she all just, it's played by Alicia Silverstone. Actually. Dang, from Clueless. Oh.
That's our movie.
Right. But it's played by her. And she's just hella like, you could tell she was trying to get dressed up, look cute for him. But it looked just.
It was blah.
It was blah. And her teeth was kind of more, it was like yellow. Like, I understand not everybody's teeth is like super white, but this was kind of like.
You can brush this into whiteness.
You might need to go to, go get a cleaning, a deep clean.
Get some strips or something.
Dang it, I should be talking. I gotta make sure all my teeth are pearly white.
Man, I stays at the dentist these days. I'm going tomorrow.
You have really nice teeth. You really do. I mean, I feel like mine are cool, but they could use some work.
You have a beautiful smile.
Thank you. Anyway, look how we be getting off. But no, you could tell that she was trying to get on cute, and she was kind of pressing up on this doctor. They were sitting down.
It wasn't too much pressing, but it was just enough
it was
to
like
know.
Just like she would sit like close enough, just close enough, like not too close, but just close enough while they were watching the movie and stuff. And I'm thinking that too. Why is Steven sitting down here watching a movie with them after
he doesn't want to? He literally doesn't want to. After the dinner, Martin literally is like, you should watch our favorite movie. I really think you should. He's like, I really should be getting back to the kids and wife now, because he has his accent.
He has his accent. I love it. What is it? It's like Scottish or Ireland?
Oh man, no. I don't know. Google it. Google Colin Farrell's accent, because it's his voice.
Okay.
So I am not going to guess here. I have been to Scotland, but I have not been to Ireland.
See, you supposed. Okay. Yeah.
So I can't tell you which accent it was. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It feels like I should know. Okay. I'm gonna guess Scottish. Is it Scottish? Oh my god! If it's not, take this off, Tanisha.
Or I think it's Irish.
Damn it!
But that's the same.
No, it's not.
Oh my god! Take that out. But that's close though. It's close.
Dang it! I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But the only reason I'm saying sorry is because I literally love I love Scotland, and I would go back.
It did look
quickly
fun. Yes, it did look beautiful. It was like, oh, okay, I think that's a vibe that I could definitely try out.
I keep on meeting people who say the same thing.
But yeah, you're right. So he ain't want to be there, but it's like, but you don't got to be there, so get your ass up too.
He had to watch the movie.
Oh man. So then Martin, he ended up going to sleep. Or whatever. He just leaves his mama. Well, I mean, whatever.
He does this all purposefully.
It is, and you can tell it's very set up. You know, like because he know his mama gonna try to press up on him.
Yeah.
And so Martin's mother, she starts to admire Steven, and she like picks up his hands and say how beautiful his hands is, and then she
like
kisses
fixated
them.
on his hands.
Yeah, like girl, and
she remembers them from the hospital.
Yeah, right. And she looked at his hands when, well, I guess she wasn't inside the surgery room, but she looked at it before. Yeah, she just like, your hands are beautiful and blah blah blah, and then kissing him like, girl.
Yeah.
And they sitting down on the couch. At this point they're like watching the show or whatever.
So going back to her kissing his hands just for a moment, it's almost never. I'm really trying to think.
Okay.
So that's why I said almost never, not never. But it's almost never like kind of gross.
Yeah.
To me when someone kisses my hand.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of it being romantic, but it feels so much more like I have authority over you.
Yeah.
Which is a given. So you don't need to kiss my hand. No, I'm kidding. But like, it's just kind of like, there's something about it where it's like, I'm groveling you. Yeah. And it's like, gross. Like, I know they try to portray it as romantic in a movie.
Right, but to
has
me,
someone
it's
ever
not.
kissed your hand
Hell
and you
no,
were like,
I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, like,
yeah. I'm not, because I feel you on that. I don't like feeling like, I don't like feel like I'm beneath anybody. I'm not beneath anybody. Wow.
Above anyone.
I'm not
like
above
that.
anybody. Yeah. However, I know my place in this world.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, the hand kissing is more like, yeah, that's right, darling. You kiss me. I am everything. Like, it's just, no. Like, so I feel you on that.
I'm like,
can you please give your...
Like, it's like Black Panther. Like, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
Please, no. Yeah, he should have put that hand quick away from as soon as she did it.
I know.
Like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just thinking about it now is even weirder.
And Callista is cute. I feel like
Alicia.
Oh my God. I said Callista. Not
Flockhart.
Callista Flockhart. But Alicia Silverstone, she's a cute girl. Mm-hmm. This one she looked a little...
It was intentional.
Little dusty, but it was more like... Let me not say it. That's me.
A Blair version of Dusty. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
she just needed to
some
zhuzh it
grilled
up.
chicken with no seasoning. That's what it looked like. Oh my God.
So she wants him to stay and try her tart. Mm-hmm. But he insists on leaving. Like he finally gets out.
Yeah.
Like all this extra, you got to try the tart. You got to watch the movie with,
Yeah.
And he finally gets to leave. So Martin visits Stephen's office again, right? Mm-hmm. He's complaining of chest pain, and he's worried because it might be caused by the same condition that killed his father, which is kind of questionable because I thought your father... Didn't Stephen earlier say your father was killed
in a car crash?
Yeah, he hit a pole and he instantly died. So Stephen tells him it's not possible, that he's too young to have that condition. But Martin just goes on and on about... Well, my father, he was like me. He ate healthy, he worked out, and he had no reason to die during surgery, but he did.
Yeah.
No reason to die during surgery.
Right, so now we find out,
that's not how his dad died.
Right. Exactly. And we find out, too, the whole meetings, the whole reason why Stephen got to do all this, or he feels obligated to do it. My God. Because Martin blames him for his dad dying during surgery. Wow.
But... for him to blame him is one thing.
Yeah.
But also to feel like you have this power. So is he right about that?
Right.
Because anyone could blame you. People feel all types of ways when they're grieving about stuff like that. You're going to get sued.
So it does
why
make
are
you think,
letting him have this power?
And that's why it makes sense later on. Remember you said he was alcoholic.
Uh-huh.
So he's definitely so Martin is probably onto something. That's why he felt like like he's kind of still, strumming those strings a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. Ooh. But Stephen reluctantly runs these tests on Martin. So Martin asks Stephen to show him his chest and his armpit hair. Because, Bob was talking about how hairy his dad is.
Yeah.
Since that matters. And Stephen's like, the tests show that nothing's wrong with you and you're good to go. All the tests came back fine. Stephen does end up showing Martin his armpit and chest hair. Martin's like, I don't have that much. I just have a little bit. And he shows him his. And he's like, it's probably because you're young. You're young and you're healthy. And that's why the test came back fine. Stephen's getting slightly more short with him, And Martin invites Stephen over again, saying like his mom, she's attracted to you, and I think that you guys would make a great couple. But Stephen just insists like that he can't. He's not going to do it. And although his mother is beautiful, he's a married man and he's happy with his family, which is
he finally. But that's what he should have said when he was sitting there on that couch that night. He really literally just got up and just left, like he went with the hurry.
Martin's playing these gross little games with him. So
why you want to see my chest hair and like it's very weird.
Why are you making me come have dinner with you guys and watch a movie? This
so weird.
Yeah,
he's definitely doing a mind game. That's pretty much what it was on. Yeah.
But after this, Martin's demands for Stephen's like attention, they grow just increasingly more frequent and desperate because Stephen stops responding. And he kind of tries to ghost him. It doesn't seem like it's for very long, though. Maybe it gives off the illusion that it's 2 or 3 days.
Right.
It's really not a long time to go without talking to somebody at all.
Exactly.
But Martin's getting, obsessive. So Stephen's eating over at one of his colleagues' house. And his colleague, he remarks about, this is the same one who he was talking in the hallway with. He talks about how he saw Martin standing near Stephen's car earlier that week. Like, oh, that kid that wanted to intern, he was standing over by your car.
Right.
And
see, just like that. And so from the outside looking in too, I'd be like, what the hell is going on? what are y'all?
Why?
Like, I would literally be like watching the whole thing. Like, why is all this happening? Why? Yeah. Like, I would be taking notes.
I would want you to call me out if you're like, Bridget, why is this kid?
Who is this?
Why is he standing over there?
Right.
Like,
He's
I don't like this.
Coming up here and stuff. Yeah. What is this?
Yeah. But that night when Kim gets home, she tells Steven that Martin, he gave her a ride home on his friend's motorcycle. So now he's like picking up the daughter. And Steven's troubled to hear this when Kim says that, because
a little fast tail.
Well, not just that. It's also like, dang, how did Martin know where my daughter is? And like, why is he picking her up? Yeah, but no, also that too. She should know better. So he finally calls him. But Martin doesn't answer. And then you can see that Martin's sitting on that motorcycle, like outside of their house looking. And as he's getting that call. Right. And it's just like,
what the heck?
If you don't go get a life, Steven.
And that's, I think.
Martin.
Right, Martin. I think people who have the time on their hands to do that to you, like, those are people to be like, to really be like, okay, this person, okay, you gotta watch them, because like you literally are taking your time, like your whole life is waking up and then getting to this person, tormenting this person. It's just so weird.
They're just like, I got time today.
Yeah. But Martin had a whole bunch of days. He had weeks. He was just, So the next morning, Steven goes back to check on Bob, and he, has to come down for breakfast. And Bob says, his legs can't move. Because the mom, she was like, kids gonna eat whatever. And so Steven goes up and gets Bob, and then, he's laying in the bed, and he's like, Bob, come on, we gotta get up for breakfast. And Bob wasn't like answering. And so Steve goes in there like, hello, like I'm talking to you. But anyway, he goes in there and he's like, Dad, my legs can't move. Like, I literally can't move my legs. He wasn't feeling anything. He was like, they're numb, and he can't move to get up. And so Steven and Anna, they rush. Like the next scene, you just see Steven and Anna, they're kind of like running in the hospital with Bob in their arms or whatever. And they run some tests on Bob, and he recovers like during the examination, and he's walking again. And so, the doctors and stuff send them home. So you see them on their way home, and it's like this view. It's like a top view of them going down the escalator. And once they finally get down to the bottom of the escalator, then Bob's legs give out again, and he just like just falls to the ground. And you could just see like the mom. And then I like too, because there was no music playing. It was just quiet. Was it quiet, or could you just hear quiet? It was quiet, and you just see the action. You just see like, her. But
you don't really think much sound was going on.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Again, lifeless.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, at this point, Steven is now, he's really starting to get frustrated. And he's talking to the doctor, and he discusses like the findings, which is pretty much nothing, with the parents. Like he sits down and talks with them, but they want to keep him overnight and try him, more in the morning, just kind of see how he's doing the next morning. So Anna's concerned, but Steven, like, he brushes it off. He's saying he'll be fine. He'll be walking by tomorrow. I think at this point, Steven kind of thinks too that his son is maybe faking. Yeah.
Yeah, because he did recover
right
at first. So, and then fell out again. So it's like, well, he'll probably recover again. Next, we see Kim riding on the dirt bike again with Martin. And you could just tell it's silent and stuff, but she's like through the roof happy, like holding on to him while her hair blows. She has her cheek pressed on his back. Like she's like, yay. She's so happy to be with him.
I probably should have put that in my rating with the way they captured it. I did like that, because you literally get into the feeling of like her on the bike, because it was just quiet, but you see her faces, you see her hair blowing in the wind. She's like on the back, and it was showing that scene for about like a minute. Like, dang, it was
too long for the amount of no music.
Right. But I think that's what added also to the just awkwardness and the whole execution of it trying to make you feel that way.
So then the next morning when they go to visit Bob, they see that Martin is in the room visiting with him already. And Martin whispers to Steven to meet him in the cafeteria upstairs. And Steven, he obliges, and Martin gives him a small gift for all the gifts that Steven has given him.
Oh, Lord.
Which is like, how is this even appropriate timing? Or whatever. Martin says that the critical moment they both knew would come someday is here now.
Martin says
They
that to
both
Steven.
knew this was going to
like we're gonna have to.
It's here now. That moment that we knew this was coming.
That bubble pop.
So Martin talks to Steven and he explains that to balance things. So they need to balance things out. It was out of balance. So for his father's death, which occurred in Steven's operating room, Steven must kill either Bob, Kim, or Anna. Or else, within a few days, they're all going to die. After going through this process, first, they'll become paralyzed. Second, they'll refuse to eat. Third, they'll bleed through their eyes. And very shortly after that one, just a few hours, death. So
every time that part came up, I was covering up. I could not see that. Yes.
So now we see what's happened here. Now we see why the awkwardness was, what it was. And
it's so weird because it's like, what would you think? Like, if somebody said that to you, would you even believe that? Like, what are you talking? Like, who are you? I don't know. It was just like, because that even was the look on Steven's face. You could tell he heard what he was saying, but it was like his mind was trying to compute. Like, huh? Like, wait a minute, what is he saying? Because it's weird. Real? Like, what? Yeah, like, how are you saying that this is going to happen? And then, of course, having your son just go into the hospital for his legs giving out. I'm sure so much was running through his mind. Because this dude sound crazy. But then at the same time, there's some stuff happening that in my actual life that is along the lines of what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so many things. And then it's like,
it should be felt, but you don't feel it.
You don't feel none of it.
The only reason why we feel it is because we're talking about it like normal humans.
Right. And we see it from our own perspective of how we would have reacted. So we're able to tell our own story. You know what I'm saying? Because in the movie, he's literally like, there's no ever any
reaction.
Right.
It's no true like passion. So it feels like, do you care?
Right.
Like, is this... Nah.
And too, do you care? And then truly, like, thinking about how this could be possible at the same time. Just colliding.
That's true.
Like, so after a while, Martin is escorted out the hospital after this point. Like, he's like, okay, I'm done, bro. We not...
Bye.
We're not talking. Like, And so Steven is troubled because the next time he goes to see Bob, he sees that, or at least we cut to a scene where he sees that Bob is refusing to eat. And he knows that's part of the other steps of what Martin just said.
Yeah, he tries to force him to eat a donut.
And like he pushes a donut in his mouth. And he's like, you're going to eat. Son, you got to eat or whatever. And he's like, that don't work. And the mom, and then even with that, because, you would expect, like, even with that, it kind of showed that's probably the most emotion that we've seen in the whole start of the movie. Yeah. Because he was like trying to, and he was trying to put it in there. And then the wife was like, So we cut to a scene where Martin and Kim, the two teenagers, Martin, the one
weirdo.
That's and then we got Kim, the little fast tail. Let me stop. We've all been teenagers. Let me stop.
The girl that can't sing. Flat note.
Yeah, the under the note girl. They got lit on the chair. And, he's talking to her. And what they talking about? What was this whole conversation?
He asked because she's on her period.
Yeah. And so she says no. And then they can do things later. See? That's fast.
Hey, I'm sex positive. It's okay.
Yeah, but not that damn young.
Hey, I'm saying, like, that doesn't mean do I think they should? No. However,
so Bridget for the fast tail. All the fast tails put your hands up. No, I'm playing.
If you can have a positive experience and you're okay with your past, then you're okay with your past. Right. That's how I feel about that. Right. Now, would I suggest it for this? No, I would not. Definitely, I would not. Would not advise, but I would not be like, oh, every time it's awful. We're dumb.
Then she does. So then I guess at this point, we've seen that she's seen her parents doing this whole little situation.
Their ritual. Yeah. Their little bedtime ritual.
Right. Because she takes off her clothes and she just has on her
underwear.
Pants, and lays on the bed like halfway again with her head hanging off, like how she seen her mama do, and lay there lifeless. So Martin, he just kind of looks at her. He really, like, he like, you could tell he's looking at her, but he was just like,
"You're the prettiest girl I've ever met, but I have to go."
Yeah, that's what he did. But it wasn't even like he was all like shy. It was more of like this arrogant confidence. Yeah, matter of fact, I like that.
"You're the prettiest girl I've ever met, but I have to go."
Yeah. Yeah. And so, you know, she just kind of got up and was like, okay, I'm just playing.
And he thinks that he insists that he's not mad at her when she asks him why. You know, like, I just did the thing. This means doing stuff, right? This is what I've seen my parents do. And he's like, no, it's just late. It's not. There's still plenty of daylight out, it looked like to me, but whatever. And she tells him that she loves him.
Oh, Lord.
And he heads out.
So we go back to a scene where we see Bob now. He's in the hospital. And his condition is not improving, but no cause could be found by them, despite both of the parents being medically inclined. They couldn't even tell, like, or
what's happening to
them.
they
didn't know.
They can't put their input in.
Yeah, they have no input, you know, but they believe that it's psychosomatic, and they just frustrated. So Steve, at this point, he gets Bob, and he goes into the room and just, like, picks him up and takes him out to the hall to walk. And literally Bob's legs just dragging, and like Steven's getting upset and frustrated because he's like, why are you not walking? Like, he's trying to, I guess, challenge the fact on if he's doing it.
Yeah.
Like, on, like if he's faking or not. Yeah. So, and then he kind of drops him. Like, he sees, like, when he's dropping him, he's literally falling like limpless. Like,
because anybody else would have tried to stop this.
Yeah. Like, that's just a natural instinct.
And the fact that he just flopping on the floor is just kind of like, it's real, Dad. Like, I know you're mad, but at the same time,
like, this is for real. Like, me, I'm over here, like,
believe it, you've dropped him enough.
Exactly. So he does stop. He does.
Yeah.
So Steve begs Bob to tell him, you know, it's an act, and he's like, bro, just come clean, just come true. Like, and he threatens, like, if he doesn't stop, then he'll shave off all of Bob's hair. And, you know, that's been the whole thing. Bob ain't been wanting to cut his hair. Yeah, so he's like going to cut off his hair, and, like, you know, I'm going to make you eat it with a razor. Like, he's threatening Bob, like,
if you don't start walking.
Exactly. And so Bob is like, it's not an act. I'm telling you, it's not an act. Like,
so Kim is practicing her singing with her choir. And it's just like they're, okay,
Bridget. The blind leading the blind.
Okay.
Just everybody under the note. Everybody.
It's a concert where it's like, do I have to go? Yeah, I had to really love my friends or family.
Exactly. Like, at least give me the show choir type. Like, y'all just standing there in some damn robes. Like, I'm gonna need some more entertainment. Like,
I'm gonna need you guys to be on the note, not under it.
Right.
Sorry. But she's at her practice, and in the middle of this, she collapses.
Yeah.
Which stops the song, thankfully. But it's bad because she collapses.
Yeah,
and so
she
she's
does.
Also hospitalized.
Not her legs.
Again, like, Steven goes in there. He tries to force her to eat, and she refuses. When she finally takes a bite and chews just a little bit, she, like, spits it out and says she just can't. Which is crazy to me.
So they all happen. Like, what Martin said was going to happen is happening.
So Steven drives over to Martin's house, and he's pissed.
Yeah.
He's banging on the door, and he's yelling at him, like, come out. Come out. You know,
stay right there.
Yeah. You better open the door. You know, he's like, I'll do whatever it takes. He starts threatening him and saying, like, if his family dies, that Martin's going to be, he's going to die in jail. And so Steven's frustrations are starting to come out.
Yeah. But Martin didn't come out, though, right?
Yeah. He didn't.
So it just cuts to a scene now where Steven and Anna are together. And they kind of start talking about Martin and just, like, why he's doing what he's doing, or why what's happening is happening. And so that's when Steve just kind of opens up and tells her the true history of their whole ordeal. And he starts to tell him that he's known her for 6 months, you know, and that's why, you know, he kind of keep coming around. And, you know, he says that he's willing to go to the police, but Anna says it won't help. Because it won't. They ain't gonna think it's something weird, probably. So then Steven, you know, is honest that he had 2 drinks before operating on Martin's father. But it was not the cause of his father's death. Like, he was like, yeah, you know, I had 2 drinks, but if that wasn't the cause. And it's like, yes, it probably was.
So
the fact that you the fact that you even got to say that is probably because that's what's true. So now we cut to a scene where we're back at the hospital, and, you know, you see the kids are just eager to go home, and they're acting really, like, just pensive. about everything. Now, Bridget wrote that in. I want to know what it means.
Kind of like they don't really care in a way. Like they want to show that they're being thoughtless or, oh God.
Okay.
The way that I look at, what?
Sorry.
That's just the way that I look at pensive. If someone's being pensive, they're not really being super enthusiastic.
Oh.
But they're also doing it on purpose. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
What is yours?
It's just saying the opposite, actually. It says engaged in or involving or reflecting deep on serious thought. So,
okay.
Maybe they were because they were. Are we at the kids?
Yeah, but it was kind of.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, I was thinking of more the feeling of pensiveness instead of like the verb of it. So they were feeling like we're not going to get out. Or blah, 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 blah. You know, like they were talking like, this is what it is. But, and they weren't being emotional about it. Yeah. Is what I meant. Okay. By pensive.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely how it was. It was like, no, it was just, like this is life.
Yeah. No, lifeless.
And so Martin calls Kim from the parking lot of the hospital, but he insists, he can't go up. Mm-hmm. So here we are, Martin downstairs at the bottom of the hospital, and he's looking up at the hotel window, hospital window that Kim and Bob are in. Yeah. And he calls Kim from her room, talking about, come look out the window. Like,
that he can see her, and she waves.
And she waves at him and everything.
It makes her so happy, right?
Yep. And then, too, look, how'd she get to the window? Because her daggone legs is working.
She stands up. It's not like she stands up all quickly and like starts skipping around. This ain't Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Right. She just like brings her legs around to the bed and it's like, girl, look at you walking.
Slowly
what's going on?
Starts to inch over there.
Yeah. Now how you start walking because Martin said to walk. Now, what do you think this is?
But she does unfortunately become paralyzed all over again when he hangs up. So Bob tries to get up too, but he falls as well. He can't even move. Yeah. So he just flops.
So he get mad because he's looking at his sister like, oh, okay, she can move.
Yeah, like she can heal, but maybe I can.
Right.
When the mom, Anna, she realizes that she was talking to Martin, she insists that she never talk to him again. Mm-hmm. She takes her phone from her. She's like disgusted. And Kim tells her that, you shouldn't get hysterical. You'll know what it feels like when it happens to you. It was just like, ooh. Wow. And her mom, she gets pissed.
She give her a good old slap.
Yep.
My mama did me a good old slap one good time because I was mad disrespectful. So I felt that, mama, my bad. I know, I feel you.
It happens.
I had one good slap. Woo, she slapped me good.
It doesn't, but yeah, when you look back on if you're one of us, where it's like you can look back on it and say, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I deserve that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's how she definitely slapped her like that.
So then in the next scene, Anna, she goes to Martin's house and she speaks to Martin. So she's sitting in that living room on that couch where they sat, and Martin is eating his spaghetti, and she tells him like she knows about the real reason why he's been spending time with Steven because he told her the truth. And then Martin tells her, Steven has feelings for my mom. Ugh, just while he's slopping on the spaghetti.
Ugh, and it was just like, I hate it because, anyway. Get that off your face.
But But Martin tells her, like, Steven has feelings for his mom, and he's sorry to tell you, while he's just eating this spaghetti all casually. And he asks, like, why should her children suffer because of Steven's mistake? And, he says he doesn't know if what's happening is fair, but it's the closest thing that he could think to for justice.
Oh yeah, yep, because sure did. And then at this point I forgot because when he was telling all the truth about everything, Steven told the wife also what Martin had said about the bleeding from the eyes and going paralyzed and blah blah blah. So now she knows that too. She understands that too. And so now he's saying that is the way to get justice. Dang.
And I think what makes me the most upset about it is like, how does this kid know of something that you guys can't figure out in time? Yeah, you know what I mean? Because he knows how to save the rest. Right. Once you select which one. Oh, no. Bruh, just, I don't know.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have, okay, so what would you have done? Would you have believed him or?
Oh, would I like picked a family member?
Yeah, would you have done what he said to do?
Nah.
Okay.
I mean, like, oh gosh, this is gonna sound kind of arrogant, but I wouldn't be in Steven's position, because if I had some, like, I'm sorry, I take my work pretty seriously.
Yes, exactly.
And I work with children.
Right.
I wouldn't go into work like unable, like in any format, not able to completely perform my job.
Exactly.
So
work is work and play is play.
Yeah.
You gotta know when.
So that's completely inappropriate of him. So I'm saying I'd never be in that position in the first place.
Right.
But I mean, we all make mistakes.
Right.
So I'm not saying I'm better than him, but I am saying it's hard for me to even think about being in those shoes.
Yeah.
But if some crazy person, let's just say someone was like, you want to play a game? You know, if they did that, you know, it'd be different. Yeah. I feel like I have the type of family, though, where if they knew, they'd all be like, no. You know what I mean? Like, just let it be me. You know?
Right.
They wouldn't be like his family who's going to be fighting to like, no, don't kill me.
Yeah.
They'd be like, I'd rather, you know? It's
like,
hard to put yourself in this position.
Yeah, because nobody, I just feel like nobody has that type of power over nobody.
That's what I'm saying right now. Like, even scientifically.
Right.
Like, if your little dumb self can figure this out,
right,
then that means someone else has already figured out how to fix this.
Exactly.
So, bye.
And then
they don't fight hard enough.
Yes. Like, really? Y'all just letting everything be. Just surrendering to it all.
Yeah.
I guess. So we cut to a scene where we're at the hospital, and Kim and the parents and like all the doctors and stuff, they're discussing, because the parents are in there too, right?
Yeah.
They're discussing how there's like no reason for them to stay at the hospital, and that the kids got to go. Look, we need these rooms. We need these beds. That's pretty much what goes on in the hospital. Like, they be needing them beds and stuff. So they was just saying, look, ain't nothing wrong. Get on out.
I don't think that's how they were saying it, though.
Oh, I was just paraphrasing, but...
Well, I mean, no, but I took it as not, I'm sorry, the way that I looked at it was the doctors were saying, like, we can't figure anything out. Like, we don't know why they're doing this.
Yeah.
We're like, so we can't help them. You're going to have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is the furthest that we can fix.
And that's what's so crazy, because you have a whole boardroom full of like these elite, you know, prestigious doctors. Like, that's why they show the award scene. You know, they're supposed to be high, like, and none of y'all can figure out what's going on. So that I'm sure that was definitely a jab to their egos and their, you know, their feeling of accomplishment.
And Steven, he even tells them, like, I don't even know how you sleep at night. If I was you, I would feel like a complete failure. Like, he sliced his ego.
His ego, their ego, everybody's ego in the room. All y'all deserve to get sliced.
Complete failures.
Right, because how can we not figure out what's going on?
Yeah.
Especially something with that, with the legs situation.
It also feels like, you know, like this could be a challenge.
Yeah.
We'll keep working.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, you haven't found nothing yet, but let's keep this moving.
Yeah.
You could if you put your heads together.
Right. Did you think some of the doctors felt that they were faking? The kids were?
If they did, that they didn't show it in the movie at all. Like,
they didn't show it, but I
it would have
wonder.
to be something that they could have thought in their heads. But
as far I'm sure somebody was sitting around the table like, because they wasn't getting any results.
Well, because the movie, they weren't getting any results, but because the movie didn't portray the doctor's perspective, I took it as they're also like lifelessly not caring people. You know what I mean?
They didn't care,
and so they didn't put much effort into it either. They're just kind of, they're all just living in this stale world where it doesn't really matter. So let's not care. That's how I felt. Like, that's why it didn't show their
and
emotions.
That's probably too that could justify them sleeping at night, like how Steven said. I feel like too it could also justify with them thinking that, oh, you know what, they're just faking. Like, we're not finding anything because there isn't anything. So some people probably went to sleep that night feeling that way too. And justifying the feeling of failure. But pretty much they all was failing. Y'all can't figure it out. So Anna meets Steven's colleague at a dinner, and she asked him to bring her, you know, the files on Martin's father about the surgery. Like, she wanted to see what was in the files. And so he says he can't give it to her, but that he can give her all the information he can remember from that night. So he's saying, I can give you that. But then he kind of looks at her like there's a but. There's a but. So it looked like it's going to come with a cost.
Yeah.
So he asks, what's in it for him? And they make a deal. So then next thing you know, you cut to a scene and then you see Anna in the truck with the daggone colleague of Steven. And she in there giving him a hand job. Very mundane hand job, but
he enjoyed it. He reached completion.
Yep. That's all he wanted. And he gave her all the information about Martin's father's case. The colleague, he actually reveals that Steven had 4 drinks before the surgery to 4. Anna. Yeah. So he was in there to the beat.
4? Uh-huh. See, now it's definitely on you, Steven.
Yeah. And so then he's like, because he said it could have absolutely been Steven's mistake, and how it was unusual also for Steven to drink before his operating whatever. So it's kind of like, why was he drinking in the first place? Because he usually doesn't do that. But yeah, he had 4 drinks before he had to cut somebody's heart open. Or wait, was it their heart?
Yeah, because he's a heart surgeon.
Man,
that's
crazy. Like the amount of pressure of what you have to do is enough for me to not want to do no type of nothing. I want to be completely level-headed. Exactly. To be operating on somebody's life.
Or be honest. So if this isn't something that you usually do, then it needs to be like, wait a minute. I don't feel completely safe or ready for this. Find another doctor. Right. Can you do that instead?
No,
for this?
It was too much arrogance. I feel like doctors, because the only reason why I know is from the hospital I used to work at. I ain't going to say which one. But it was a lot of arrogant ass doctors in there, and they think that they're gods and stuff. And so they really did walk around with a very pompous, arrogant attitude, and just like, I am like, because I, am pretty much the one that could either save you or you could die or whatever. Like, I'm pretty much the author of your life. And I'm not even kidding. That was a lot of them doctors there at that hospital. They had that type of aura and that vibe. Ooh. So I feel like with Steven over here drinking before he does a freaking heart surgery, that is very arrogant of you to think that you could do that. Yeah. That's so just irresponsible and arrogant, like, to be like, I got this. Like, and you know what? And maybe he wasn't even thinking he got it, but.
And you know what else is like kind of interesting about that? Because what if you are the type of person who 4 drinks is nothing to you? Because then at that point, like, how many drinks makes you like a functioning alcoholic for all we know? Yeah. Because some people might be 4 drinks. That doesn't do anything for me. Right. And you might be 100% for real, but 4 drinks for me.
Right. I'll be done.
For me? Yeah.
Now I could have a little.
I don't drink
shots.
often.
I don't either.
That's probably what it is.
Yep. We some lightweights in the drinking world.
So maybe 4 drinks isn't a lot. What do we know? No, 4 drinks. No, but and then a heart surgery 2 is a lot.
Yeah. That is like, because I can just imagine me drinking 4 drinks now, like how it would feel. Like, no, I could never operate on a body, on a person under 4 drinks. That's crazy. Intoxicated with 4 drinks.
Or do whatever your job is.
Yeah, or whatever. Exactly. Because I think about that too. Should like I want to be able to present myself well, represent myself well, and be able to speak. And, you know what I'm saying? Be thinking on a more focused level, like when you go into business meetings or like.
That's the whole purpose of the movie Flight, because you really want you're excited because he saved so many people. Right. But the truth of the matter is he was drunk.
And he had coke. He was gone. And he had I think he was doing some.
And he still was but it was miraculous. So people are like, what are you talking about? Who cares? You have to.
Right.
That's true. People's lives are still.
Right. He did wrong. Wait, was the whole reason why they even crashed his fault?
No. Okay. They found out it was the plane.
Yeah,
there was a malfunction on the plane. Right.
So he still did his job. He came through even under the influence.
Yeah.
It was still wrong that he was doing it, but he still came to the challenge. It was like, hold on, I'm about to save everybody.
Yeah.
As lit as I am, I'm about to do it. So it does make you be like, dang, you know what? Yeah, he did save everybody. So you kind of like not really get on him that bad about drinking and stuff. But still, you don't do it, bro. Just don't do it.
But you still got caught. Yeah. You got caught.
And then if they died, that could have went a whole totally different way too.
But there were a couple people that died.
Oh.
So, but still, when everybody else did the simulation and they tried, like, they don't understand. Like, it was a miracle that many people lived, because it was only like 2 or 3. Yeah. Still,
those
2
things
or 3
happen.
souls are gone now. So
I remember
they take it very seriously because planes really don't crash like that often.
Yeah, that's not right. They say that. I mean, you get more accidents in a car than in a plane.
You're way more likely to do that.
But you know what, though? I do believe that how it was like a miracle, or in a sense, because I remember being trashed coming from a freaking white people Super Bowl party. And now, look, I ain't trying to be funny, but y'all white people be partying on a whole nother level, okay? That was the first time I ever got drunk off some daggone beer. And I remember... For real, because that's all they have is them damn cakes and them damn ping pong games and stuff. And I was partying with them, and I got really trashed, and I drove my ass home. But really, the Lord drove me home. I don't remember the drive. I don't remember pushing the pedals. Ooh. I don't remember getting up the steps. Like that was so I was like, I won't ever do that again, ever in my life, because it was just like that. There's no way that I got home. Like, that was God. Like, I probably told too much. Don't be worried about it. Look, I'm grown now, mom and dad. I'm grown. Aunties and uncles.
I mean, I could never. And I mean, and not in a general way.
I know.
But, like, I remember the 2 times where I felt that way. One time it was blackout drunkenness. Yeah. That's all that it was, because all I wanted to do was just lay down and sleep.
Dang.
But I was out with so many people, and I just would have been on the floor. Like, when you see people that are just out, and that makes me feel so unsafe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And even though I felt like, because it just was like, oh, the lights don't want to stay on, just let me sleep.
Right.
But I was at least able to text one of my friends, like, please come and get me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the one who, like, I didn't drive.
Okay.
But still, they weren't ready to leave. And it was like, I'm going to fall asleep.
Right.
Like, I don't think you guys understand.
I don't like being out open amongst all these people.
Yeah, like, I can't, this is too much for me.
Yeah. So I feel that. Yeah.
So, but I can't imagine if I was, it would have been some sort of
I don't remember nothing. Yes, girl. Yes, I literally don't remember. I just remember waking up in my room like, how did I get here? That is crazy. But never again. Look, that's all I needed was one time to bump my head. That's all I needed. That was good enough over warning. Like, I was like, thank you God for having my back. I won't do that again. All right, where we at? So eventually the kids are sent home, and Anna tends to them. And so Stephen expresses how they think it will be beneficial for them to go to the beach house for a few days, just kind of, maybe we need a little vacation,
But you think it'd be beneficial? Maybe. Like, what are you guys going to do to show joy? You haven't expressed any other emotion here. Like,
nothing else seems to have made an impact. So what's the beach going to do?
But anyways, Anna talks about how beautiful Stephen's hands are. Mm-hmm. She's kind of trying to schmooze her husband up.
Yeah. So he's
an incompetent man.
Yeah.
And that his 2 children are dying. And she finally calls him about not doing anything. She's like, you have beautiful hands, but you're useless. Your kids are dying, and there's nothing you're doing.
I feel like that's I don't know. As a wife, I guess it just depends on the dynamic of the relationship. But for her to just say that, like, she came real and literally just pretty much kicked the dog while he was down. Hear it. Yeah.
Maybe she thought, like, you need to know right now that you're failing. Maybe you don't realize it, but I'm telling you.
But I think he does realize it. That's why he said he can't sleep at night. So you kicking a dog while he down already.
He said he can't sleep at night?
He said he can't. He was like, how do you guys sleep at night? I'm a complete failure. So he's saying it.
No. He said that to the other doctors. He said...
Right, but even he can't... I mean, I feel like he is at that same table in that same boat. You a doctor too, nigga. You can't figure it out. So you
he should feel that way, but I don't think he does. I feel like he still thinks...
He probably don't.
Well, he might, but he's arrogant, like you said. So he still thinks they can't figure it out. They're idiots, and... she's calling him incompetent because he hasn't done it yet. But
right. She had, I mean, hey, that's what she said.
You're saying you would never. Or you don't think you would ever.
Not in that way. Like, you can still kind of challenge somebody and encourage them without it being so like, damn, like, you just talking to me and you're talking down. Like, you're not like showing me the situation or the problem and giving me, helping me with the solution. You're just kind of talking down to, you're just incompetent. You're not this. And it's like, that ain't gonna help them none either. Like, like, tell them the real, but you ain't gotta say it like that.
I think the reason I like it is because she's starting to finally show a little bit more emotion. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you've been waiting for them to be passionate.
Exactly. And it does progress. And it's so weird because it progressively gets to a point in the movie where they start to show a little bit more emotion than they started. But it's still never quite, again, it's like enough. It's like emotion under the note.
Yeah, under the note.
The under the note emotion. Like, it's just like, y'all, it still never reaches, like, I still don't get it. It doesn't do anything for me. So, yeah, so at this point, she is kind of having a little bit of, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she getting into the anger. But she tells him, why don't you go to Martin's house? Mm-hmm. You know, like, she starts just blaming him. Like, this is your fault we're in this situation, which really it is.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
You had 4 drinks and you did surgery to this crazy kid's father.
Right.
So she chastises him for a little bit.
Yeah. Now, in that sense, I would eat his ass up for that. Like, really, he was drinking before a freaking surgery. Like, I would go off about that because that's just dumb.
And look at where it's gotten him.
Right.
So
now we got 2 paraplegic kids.
She said, not only like did you cause this, but you're not solving this.
Right.
Like it does. There needs to be more pressure on him, because you know her giving her little hand jobs and going and asking Martin nicely is not working.
Exactly.
So Steven just rambles on about how they don't have anything that like they need to fix, and he starts throwing things around in the kitchen and breaking glass. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's nothing to fix.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So in bed that night, Anna just kind of gives up. Mm-hmm. She's exhausted, and she just tells him calmly, like, I guess you'll just wait until we're all dead. Oh. That'll work.
Dang. She was like, I guess that's the plan.
Okay, so death, that's the only option since you haven't gotten this. So the next morning, Steven wakes up Anna and tells her to come downstairs. Mm-hmm. And so we see that Steven has kidnapped Martin and has him tied up in his basement. And he appears to be pretty beat up.
Got Martin tied up.
And it's just like Anna looks at him, but she's still doing it lifelessly.
Yeah. Because she's kind of like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, she's still kind of exhausted with it all. Like, we haven't figured anything out.
Right. So Martin says his mom would be worried sick. And, you know, he kind of like talking in the chair, like tired. Yeah. And just saying, you know, I need to get home, you know. So Steven asks if his mom would be proud of him being a murderer. Because, you know, like, what are you doing to my kids? So Martin says that Steven is wasting time. And that it's weird that really Steven is the true murderer. Yeah. Because you killed my daddy doing surgery. Man. Now, he ain't say that last little part, but that's pretty much what he was saying. And so then, you know, Steven's like, okay, you know what? Well, I will be. And so he starts kind of like beating up Martin. And, he just kind of punching Martin a little bit. Yeah.
You feel that part, you're like, yeah, get him. Yeah. Because you're like, I'm annoyed with you, Martin. Like, Steven was wrong, but this is too much.
Right. Like, what's going on with my kids? Why did you know that they was going to be able to do this? Or this was going to happen to them? So, yeah, he's kind of like, he's trying to get answers in a sense without really asking many questions. So then Martin, he ended up, you know, as he's kind of punching him, he bites Steven's arm. Yes. Like, he bit it. He got a good little grip in there. And then Martin bites his own arm. And the crazy part is he bit it to the point of biting off flesh. Like Martin bit off his own flesh. Okay,
he does that kind of to show him, like, see, the physical violence doesn't matter. Like, we're even now.
Right. Like he don't. Right.
You think I feel something?
Yo, sir. That's so true.
I'm a weirdo. Look at me.
So now Steven like, dang, okay, I guess I can't punch him. Like, he won't ever say anything because clearly he can bite off his own flesh.
Yeah. But, I mean, he does shoot him in the leg.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, Steven went ahead, just took the little shotgun he brought down there and shot Martin in the leg. And it left a pretty big hole, too, because...
Even though he does that, like, Martin's not really intimidated. Like, he still doesn't show that much emotion. And he just tells him, like, you probably should dig a pretty big hole because...
Dang,
all of them are going to die if you kill me.
Crazy. Like, dang.
So
he stopped beating him up, though, because he was like, okay, yeah, he is right. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, my kids are dying because he's saying they're going to die. And then now he's saying if I kill his ass, then they still going to die. Like, help me out.
You can still beat him up for fun, though. You don't have to all the way kill him, but keep beating him up.
Give him just a good beating.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
In the next scene, Kim is at the house. They're in the room. Her and Bob are in the same room now. So they like their little hospital beds that they have are together. And she tells Bob that she loves him and that they're all going to miss him. But this is just an impossible position.
Yeah.
And Bob just kind of expresses how the mom, Anna, she bought him a piano because she believes in him and not in her. And And so the children start to kind of argue over who's the favorite, like who's going to stay and who their father should choose to kill.
Yeah.
And who should try to get in his favor. So
that's crazy. And at this point, we realize too, the kids even know, like they know what's going on.
Something is,
so they literally playing this. Yeah, like I'm the kid, not to kill. Oh no, Dad.
Mom bought me a piano.
Yeah,
you know, just
like trying to give him reasons.
So Bob goes and he crawls through the house and he cuts his own hair, like his father wanted him to earlier.
Yeah.
And he shows his dad his new haircut, and he's like, I should have listened to you earlier. This looks, good. And he says, I don't want to be like Mom. I want to be a cardiologist, just like you. And at night, just trying to get in his dad's favor.
Yeah.
And at night, Stephen cries outside in his garden, just while he's trying to contemplate what to do.
Yeah. And then too, I'm sure he felt that too, his kid, like he knows his kids are trying to not be the one to get killed. So that's another feeling like, ugh, like why did I make my kids feel this way?
Yeah. That's so he even visits the school and he asks about his kids. He's like, they're into separate things, but they're good at all the the things that they're in their own right.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah.
He even like asked the school principal outright, because the principal's very like, oh yeah, they're both blah 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 students. They kind of go under the radar and don't just even. And so he asked him to pick which child is the best if he had to choose between the two.
What the heck?
And the principal's just like, that's just too difficult. I don't know what to tell you.
And in his place, I would have thought the same. Like I would have once Steven left, I would have been in my head like, that's such a weird question to ask. Why would he ask me that?
What child is the best?
Yeah, like what the hell are you talking about? What you planning on doing?
That's easy. This one. Oh, I mean, I'm just kidding. No,
that sounds so sus. Like, that's crazy. So then now we're back at the house, and Anna, she brings down the children, and she's carrying Bob, and Kim, she's actually just kind of dragging herself on the floor.
With her arms.
With her arms. And so Anna, she starts to help Martin with his wounds and stuff. And they end up going down to the basement to where Martin is. And so Anna starts to help him with his wounds and stuff and cleaning them away and applying his new bandages and all the things. And Martin lets her know that, she can take the kids away. But instead, I don't even know why Martin said, what is he saying? Like Martin lets her know that she can take the kids away. Oh, so like take them and just run away?
No, like she can it doesn't matter if she brings them down. Like, you can take them away.
Oh, I thought he was, okay. And so, but instead of them going away, she starts to kiss Martin's feet. Like, girl, why are you kissing his feet?
It's another kissing of the hands or foot. Yeah, because it's just like gross.
It was her way of like trying to, in a sense, vie for his favor. Please stop this. It was like without her saying those words. Yeah. That's what she was doing in that.
Like, I'll do anything if you just
like I'm submitting myself. Yeah. So and then the whole thing, she wants Martin to see what's happening to them and what they feeling and stuff in order to gain like his empathy. Yeah. But it don't work. He's just like I'm not. I mean, it is what it is.
He's like, act fast.
Right. That's all he's just really not really giving in to her.
Yeah, emotions clearly mean nothing to him.
Yeah.
And even if they did, they don't have enough emotions in this movie.
Right.
Just weird gestures and lifelessness.
Yep.
Yep. But when the plan doesn't work, she decides later, cuts to her trying to seduce her husband. Mm-hmm. She does her little, this time naked, laid out ritual, but he doesn't even respond to it. Like, how can I even think of that right now?
Trying to have sex.
And she tells him, like, I know that this sounds harsh, but the most logical thing that you can do is kill one of the children and not her, because she can have another child. So even she's trying to kiss up to him.
And why he can have another child too?
Yeah, she don't need to be there.
Too. Right. So what are you talking about? All you gotta do is still put his seed. You gotta have two people to make a child.
Yeah, Steven's not in any danger. It's gonna be one of you. Right. So he can still have another child.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah, the fact that she's vying, like, well, keep me alive instead of one of them.
So now we go to a scene where Kim is crawling back down to the basement, and she tries to persuade Martin to heal her, by bringing him a cigarette. He liked to smoke cigarettes. So she's like, this is her way of now trying to vie for his favor. Mm-hmm. And so she tries to get Martin to run away together with her, and she's all like, and then when that doesn't work, she tries to crawl away. And when the parents realize she's missing, then they walking all like outside and down the driveway with the flashlights and stuff. Yeah, trying to find her outside. Like, where's she at? And she's like, really, she actually ended up leaving the basement, right?
Yeah, she got back. She's all the way out of the house.
Yep. And she's literally crawled, like literally just pulling herself by her arms.
Yeah, army crawling.
Yep. So now she outside and the family trying to find her. They end up finding Kim crawling outside. They end up finding her. And so she's like, you know, just telling them how much she loves her family. And she's like, you know, she offers herself, like, just kill me to save y'all. Like, you know, I don't want this.
Yeah. And it still seems like...
It's still not right. You don't feel it.
It's not that believable.
The way I'm actually telling it more feeling than what it really is.
She has more emotion.
Right. That's because I'm not a freaking robot. Anyway, so it has to come out emotion like that's how it's coming out.
You aren't a robot.
Right.
We aren't.
Right.
So then next scene, Anna just has become hopeless.
Yeah.
And she releases Martin.
Right.
She does it without Steven's permission though.
Yep.
So she tells Steven, like, I let him go. It's not going to solve anything.
Yeah.
It's not going to make any difference. And we both know that. So she's right. Like, what are we going to do? Kill him? Like, what's the purpose?
Right.
But the anger in me is kind of like, well, you know, you could. Right. You could die too.
Right.
But Anna just continues at this point to just, like, mend her children.
Yeah.
Like, she's given up that Steven's going to take action, right? So when Kim asks her about, you know, her symptoms and like, have they started yet? Then Anna slaps her.
So she slaps her again? Okay.
Because the first time she's like taking her phone, you know what I mean? And it's not like, there are different levels of dramatic. This one's more like,
yeah,
you know, like she sees that she's in competition with her mom too, and she's trying to find a way to hurt her mom, right?
This is crazy.
So
she got another good slap.
Yeah, the other one was more of a quick, like, give me the phone. What is wrong with you? As you're snatching it away.
Yeah, okay. And so then we cut to a scene I can't hardly look at it. Bob starts bleeding from his eyes, which we know Martin said what happened a few hours before death. So now we at that point. Now Martin over here, Bob is over here bleeding from his eyes.
It's not. We don't have much longer to decide.
Yeah, right. And so Kim sees this and she yells that he's dying, like, you know. So Steven, like, wipes the blood from his son's eyes. And Bob asks who his best friend is. And Bob tells him, you know, he has 3 best friends in his class, 2 boys and 1 girl. We cut to a scene where Steven is coming to the bedroom to tell Anna that Bob's eyes are bleeding and that she needs to come to the living room. And so when Anna was like, you know, we'll go ahead and tell the kids too to go there. And he was like, they're already there. And it's like, oh God, I guess we're at that moment now. We're just going to make his decision.
Yeah.
And so Anna says she's going to wear a black dress. She's going to wear the black dress that he likes, Steven likes. And he tells her to wear whatever and just hurry up. Like, girl, why are you trying to get all
right?
Like,
I'm going to wear the dress you like.
Exactly. Like she just doing her last ditch effort.
Yeah.
Like, and so in the living room, Steven, he has placed Bob, Kim, and Anna, all his family pretty much. Well, not pretty much. That's what it is. And they're in a circle and they're bound. Like they got their legs tied, their arms tied, and then they have pillowcases over their heads. Yeah. And
their mouths are covered.
Yes. And so he kind of has them in a circle.
I guess it's kind of more like a triangle since there's 3 of them.
Yeah, it's just, that's all I was about to say.
That makes sense,
right? But that's the best
triangle. But you know,
but that's the best circle that he could make of the 3 of them.
3
and points. Then right. And what he does actually, he goes in a circle. He stands in the middle of all 3 of them, and he puts also what is a pillowcase or whatever over his head.
Like it covers it so he can't see.
Right. Yep. So he can't. Yep. And he stands in the middle, picks up the rifle, and starts spinning around, like making it like a game. That's the best way I can really say. It was like a game, but he wasn't, like, you could tell the intensity of, I think maybe this was the point where obviously we start to feel a little bit more like emotion from them. But even then they were crying very soft, like you couldn't even hear anything.
They were really muffled.
Yeah. So it was still
it wasn't like begging either. Like,
right. It wasn't none of that. Yeah. They were just all sitting there just letting it happen. Like, okay. Yep.
Yes, a little bit of that.
Yep. And so he's standing in the middle and he's spinning around in a circle with the rifle, and then he takes 1 shot.
And the first one narrowly misses Kim.
Yep.
So it almost hit his daughter. He takes off his kind of like beanie to see, like, if it hit anybody. He sees that it didn't, so he puts it back over his face.
And then we go at it again.
And he spins around again. And then this time, the second time, he narrowly misses Anna.
Yep. It went like past the side of her face.
Only slightly. Like, yeah, it was a close one. He sees that it didn't kill anybody. Yep. He puts his...
puts it back on.
Yep. He puts his mask on again. He spins in a circle. And then he takes his third shot. And this one hits Bob.
Yeah.
And
was there any music
takes
playing?
Off his...
No, I wasn't no music playing.
There were kind of some sounds.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it was just kind of give you, oh yeah, that's what it was, just one note.
Yeah.
And so Bob is that.
The decision has been made.
Yep. You see, he shot him in the chest. Like, Bob was sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And he shot him in the chest. Yeah. And
so
you just see
his son
is
the one that he sacrificed.
Yep.
He takes off his mask. He sees who it is. And then it kind of stops.
Right. So then we cut to a scene after he did that. It's like she said, the decision has been made.
Yep.
We see Martin. He enters the diner where him and Steve usually meet, and the remaining Murphys are inside already, and they're looking all healthy and
normal again. They can walk.
Right. They can walk. Yep. And then they're just sitting. Just got Anna, Steven, and Kim sitting at the diner table. And they see Martin walk in, and he takes a seat nearby. So they look over at him. And he see who they decided, and like Martin is like seeing, oh, okay, they decided on Bob. Like in his mind, he's not saying that, but trying to speak his mind. Like we don't know, but I feel like that's what it is. He see like, okay, that's how he knew that they balanced it out.
Yeah, okay. I think the thing is like that's a perspective difference. Is all that is.
Okay,
because the way I saw it was a little different.
So how would Martin know to stop doing, or you know what I'm saying? Like when he knew that they balanced it out.
What I'm saying is that's what you think, that Martin didn't know who they decided until just this moment, right? That's your perspective. That's not my perspective.
Okay.
My perspective is that Steven told Martin who they selected.
So what's the point of meeting at the diner?
They didn't meet at the diner on purpose. That was like he's here, let's go. That was my that's how I looked at it. Because again, I think he already knew that they chose Steven.
Yeah.
This is just me. I think they knew that or not they knew. I think that Martin knew he chose Steven because the only way for any of them to live was that he had to choose one of them so that Martin would give him the antidote for the others to live.
Right.
So I think he already knew, like, okay. He couldn't get that until he knew who he chose.
Right. So
that's the way that I look at it.
Right, but until he knew that he chose. Right. I just think he found out who they chose when he came into the diner. Yeah, because why would the family go in there, like knowing that this is a usual place that you and Martin meet, and y'all go to this particular restaurant? Because
they're Cincinnati weirdos. Like they've been emotionless kind of this whole time. I don't think they think about life that way.
I think after that whole situation, especially for something like that with him getting killed, like they literally killed the son because you were saying, if I don't do this, everybody's going to die. So I want you to know, look, we made our decision. That's how they're showing them. And I feel like without it being spoken, they like you said, they look at each other, and then he's kind of like, okay, I see who y'all chose. And I don't know.
And I see your perspective, but the only reason why I think that he knew in advance is because the mother and daughter wouldn't just magically know how to walk and stop bleeding, and not like he had to give them that's why it was like, hurry up and decide, because once you do, I can heal the other two.
Okay.
So that's the only reason why I was like, they could have walked to the diner, and been perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
That's my perspective.
Yeah, because they was right. So when it happened, he just knew it happened. Oh yeah.
But he had to tell them somehow. I don't think it showed that part, just like it didn't show for sure, and that's why there's a perspective difference. It didn't show for sure how he poisoned them, or how he give them an antidote.
Right.
But
it doesn't, and I think okay,
and that's why I get you. Yeah, that's why I get the way you're looking at it too. Yeah. Like, oh, okay, I see that.
And so Steven avoids, but you could tell too, Steven avoids like looking at Martin and stuff, and but they see that Martin's there. He's sitting there eating his fries with his whole bunch of ketchup, like he always do,
with the spaghetti and the marks.
It's just such the spaghetti marks all over his face. And so, but then, you know, they all kind of get up and they just leave the diner. And you can see that there's Steven, like, avoids looking at him while he's leaving. He don't even look at him. But Anna, she shoots him like this little glare, like, ugh, like, can't stage it. But not like that. Not without the stank lip.
No, well, no one
without
saw.
the stank lip.
You did the stank lip. You just did it for me.
But she just kind of shoots him an icy glare.
Yeah.
And then Kim, the little girl, she just glances back before walking out. But with hers, it seemed a little longingly.
Ew.
I know, but she was a young little. She liked him. She called herself loving him. So she was more looking like, oh well, all right. You know, I don't know. It was like a. She did.
I love this because I want you guys to really tell us, because I know people have seen this movie. It used to be on Netflix. That's how I saw it.
Right.
But like, I want to know what you guys think.
Yeah, because that's what the little girl
me, she looked at him so not hate. She didn't look at him hatefully.
Right. It wasn't hate,
but it was like kind of like meh. You know, like still so emotionless that it's not like excited.
Right. Exactly.
But it's also not.
But you could tell she was still open to like. I feel like she was still open to being fast with it.
Ew.
But that's what it seemed like. That's how she left it to me.
With a guy that killed her brother.
Yeah, that's what
I guess she ain't got no emotion for all we know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's just like everything was just like, just so yeah. I mean that probably ends the movie. Sorry if we told that a little rough, but
no, because that's how the movie makes you feel.
Yeah,
like so that's like, it.
Right.
There's no.
They literally, they killed
crying,
Bob.
Funeral emotion. Like it's not a real thing where other family members are involved, and like it's just like this dry family of weirdos.
Yep. Martin got what he wanted. Everything in his eyes is balanced out. And then it just ends like they get up and leave the diner, and now they Bobless in Curtis Row. And
you're supposed to feel something, you know, like how could he? You know, like this is terrible.
It's more just dumb. But you're
and
just like,
that's how you decided,
right?
Or just.
But then Bridget, just like how we was talking about earlier, I didn't realize that Martin poisoned him, and that's how he was able to be doing all that. But when does he give him? Yeah, the anecdote.
Exactly.
The anecdote sounds very sci-fi, but when does he? How does? And I think that's what it's supposed to do, is to kind of make you think: was this something supernatural? Was it like did he give them, you know what I'm saying, like poison them for real? I mean, even though he did poison them. The cool thing is,
like, if this was supernatural, it doesn't have a supernatural vibe.
It doesn't at all. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. That's why for me, it didn't feel like it could be. Like, there gotta be some sort of indication with the music, or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it was, and that's why I think it was supposed to be open for whoever's perception.
Yeah. That's, you know, why
that's how they
different.
Right. That's how they made it. It was very like, you just end the movie like, okay, so what?
So like, that's it.
Yeah.
No matter your perception, you're still kind of annoyed.
Right.
At the end.
You're still frustrated.
This is not satisfying.
It's all.
So tying it all in together, like after thinking about it, like I'm good with just taking. I said it was a 6.75. I'm taking it down to a 6.5. Like, how am I frustrated with this movie that I don't even really have like empathy for these people?
Yeah.
And this is a different frustration than like The Lie, because that movie frustrated me too.
And it was also funny how the stupidity of it all. Like, me and Bridget could not stop laughing off that movie. Y'all don't know, but we had to re-record The Lie. Okay.
Oh man. Because of the hysterics.
Right.
And not because we thought it was funny either.
It was just so like, we couldn't believe how people could be that dumb. But anyway.
The characters truly, you don't draw close to any of them, because they all feel like awful people. You don't like a single one of them.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them. Not the mom, not the daughter, not the son, not Steven, definitely not Martin, not the colleague. There's no one in here where you're like, this is a good person I'm rooting for. It's just more like, here comes a piece of dried toast.
Yeah, that's really it, right. Everybody was dry toast in the whole movie. It was just like, you don't really connect with nobody. And again, I think that was intentional.
Yeah.
I changed my rating to 6 now. I went down 0.5. Dang. Because after talking through it again, because it really isn't much, like, all you can do is really kind of make your own perspectives. That's why it's probably been a lot of that this episode, because as far as like how we thought they were thinking, because there was no indication of what they were thinking and what, you know, like, you can only get a few things it was just so emotionless and lifeless but I think that was intentional.
And if you give it emotion, you still get mad at them because like their defeat was not necessary.
It sure was.
They gave up.
Y'all sure did, because y'all could have kept everybody. And I don't really know, like, I guess that was part of the whole concept, but y'all doctors and stuff supposed to figure some shit out. Y'all need to put them degrees to use. How none of y'all know what's going on. So I just would have kept, trying, because either way it seemed like somebody was gonna die. Well, he said everybody.
Honestly, if we started talking about, or if you got me to start talking about the the medical field and industry, this is going to end up being like 2 hours long. So I'm going to keep quiet about how I feel it is here. But again, just totally just crazy to think, oh, okay. And you have these 2 doctors having this issue as well, which is another whammy.
Right.
And just movie would have just really fitted more by having a concrete twist, maybe, or at least some sort of satisfaction, because you don't even get satisfaction. You don't.
That's what I'm saying. It was literally right. It was literally just to just leave you just open and out, and just like, what you just have a lot of questions, and it doesn't do anything for you. Meh.
And do you want to know about the quote? Yeah, I'm done with it. Do you want to know about the killing of a sacred deer?
What?
So I looked up what this saying is, right?
Okay.
And just listen to it and take it in. Tell me what you think. The killing of a sacred deer is directly concerned with fate. Okay. With cosmic punishment of human hubris. With our so-called free will crumbling under the uncaringly cruel banalities of the universe.
See, so that's why they left it like that, because because I was questioning, like, okay, did he really get them poisoned, and but then it's like that whole antidote part, that's what tripped that thought up, that perspective up. And so then you start to think, is it supernatural? Right. Yeah. But I think that's why I think that's what they were trying to do with that whole the killing of a sacred deer, and showing that in film. It was to make you like wonder, is it supernatural? Is it, they left it very open. That makes sense.
And I also take it to mean a little bit of nobody is really right or good in this story. Right. Not a single one of them.
Yeah.
Because even down to like the children, and the fact that when it came down to it, instead of even trying to heal themselves, or figure things out themselves, or do any type of research, they just tried to pit each other against each other. That's exactly nobody ever was noble or showed good character. And so it is what it is. This is all going to crumble because none of you deserve good. Even Steven, which you want to feel bad for the guy, but this started because you had 4 like, ain't none of y'all good.
Yeah. So what happened? So what would you have? So what do you think then? Let's say Martin's dad didn't die during the surgery, but he died beforehand, but then maybe they were trying to like, dang, it was a question.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah, maybe they tried to, and then his dad still died, but not at the hands of Steven. He still died. I wonder would Martin still would have took that anger and that needing to balance things out on Steven still.
Well, maybe if Martin knew it was someone else, he would take that out on someone else.
Yeah. But what if he died just on the way to the hospital?
Okay,
and then he'd happen to be under Steven's care, and it wasn't even Steven's fault.
Okay, okay. So you know how we talked about the movie Flight from earlier?
Yeah.
Right. So this is similar to Flight in the sense that he was still drunk,
right,
and he ended up getting caught. But in Flight, most of the people lived, and they thought he was a hero, but he still got his punishment because he was still caught doing the wrong thing, right? Even though it worked out.
Way,
And this way, it's backwards.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't really know, did he do the wrong thing or not?
That's true.
It seems very wrong to have 4 drinks. Like, it feels like, he did do the wrong thing for sure.
But maybe,
however, you don't know if he's a functioning alcoholic.
Right.
Could the father have died earlier?
Exactly.
We don't know.
Was it really due to the surgery? Yeah.
You got caught at the end of the day, and both of you had to feel a different type of punishment. But I think what makes Flight so good is that in the end, even though he could have blamed it and gotten away with it, he told the truth that like he couldn't take it anymore. He said, God help me. And he just was like, yeah, I was drunk. I was high. Right. I'm drunk now. Like he took the blame.
He did. He owned up to it in that. Yeah.
And so here Stephen didn't do that.
Right. So that makes sense too with the whole fate thing, like in the sense karma and like everybody getting what they deserve. You're putting out whatever into the world, you're going to get that back. So yeah. I mean, you know, nobody. Yeah. I mean, it was, I get it. I get where they were going with the movie. I get that whole concept. I get that, you know, that thought process. But that's it. Yeah. That's all I got. It just,
We're really pulling and pushing to talk this much about it, if I'm being honest. We're trying to
find, because it wasn't, and that's the thing. I think that's the reason why, you know, because then somebody say, well, why y'all even talk about it at all? But the reason why we're talking about it at all
is because, be truthful.
Right. We got to be truthful. And then there's still different concepts. All movies aren't meant to, you know, make you feel a certain type of way all the time. They're supposed to challenge all, you know, the way you think, or like it may not be your jam, you know what I'm saying? But that's the whole point of being creative and creating things, is for everybody to get their own perception of it.
And I know there are people out here like this audience is for. There are people who love movies that frustrate you. Right. Like, there's really not a conclusion where you know, there are people who are into that. Yeah. So if that's what you're into, I think you could really enjoy the killing of a sacred deer. Right. That's not what I'm that into. Yeah. I don't want to always be frustrated. Like, dang it. Yeah,
it wasn't a concept that I would watch again. That's true. But I do like,
but there's an audience.
Yeah, there is. Because I'm sure there's a lot of psychological thrillers that I like that some people are like, what?
I know.
Really get it. So yeah, all right, that was fun, B. This was the killing of a sacred deer,
and that's all we have for this week's episode. So go see in your.
Here she go with that go see, y'all.
I'm never gonna stop. So check it out. Killing of a Sacred Deer, if you're into that type of frustration, on Showtime. If you want,
that's where it's at.
I don't think it's necessary, but
Bridget said go see it in your living room. Go to the movie theater in your living room and go see it.
That's how I treat my living room, like a movie theater.
I love that. It's just fun, y'all. I'll be picking on it with her go see, like it's outright. This movie came out in 2017.
She doesn't want me to be me.
I'm just kidding. Y'all can stay connected with us on our website at sothat'swhathappens.com. Subscribe, get on our email list.
www.sothat'swhathappens.com.
We don't need the www. They know.
But if they put sothat'swhathappens.com.
Oh, that's true for some weird reason. That is true.
Sorry.
You're right. So for that, yes, that's true. For some reason, when you just put sothat'swhathappens.com, it doesn't go to the website. I'm like, what is it? So now I gotta figure that out. But yes, put in www. So that's what happens.com. Connect with us on there, y'all, and subscribe to our list. We want to engage with y'all. We want to get y'all on the show, you know.
So. We want to hear from you.
Yep, definitely. And also connect with us on our TikTok and our Instagram and all the things, okay? We also got personal pages y'all can follow, I'm just going to say.
Okay.
Look us up, because we be having fun.
Thank you for listening to our show, though.
So that's what happens. Join us next week as we unpack another movie.
Until then,
it's a wrap.